When I was a young boy growing up on a small farm, we didn't farm full time, but we did have a small farm. My father would go to Winchester, Virginia every fall, and he would buy feeder calves that weighed, I don't know, 300 pounds. And he would buy 25 or so of them, and and then they would get shipped to our place, and we put them in the barn, and then we would feed them chopped corn, which we called silage, until it was finished, and then he would sell them, and someone else would finish raising them until they were ready to go to market. Uh, so we had a small silo, and um, because we were not farming in a big way, we didn't have a silo unloader like today. In silos, people have automatic silo unloaders, and you just push a button and the silage comes out of the silo, and you can feed it to your cattle. But we didn't have that. My brother and I were the silo unloader, so we would climb up the ladder into the silo. There was a chute that came down the front of the silo, like a half round chute, and you could crawl up inside there. There were rungs on the doors of the silo, and you could climb up the doors of the silo and then go in the door. And as the silo got more and more empty, we would open the doors coming down. And then we had a pitchfork up there, and we would fork silage and throw it into the chute, and it would go down to the bottom. When we were higher up in the silo, we would it was fun to see how fast you could uh, throw silage down the chute. So sometimes we would try to have, before the forkful of silage hit the bottom, hit the floor, we would try to have the second forkful in the chute. Well, that was hard to do. It was a lot of work, and we didn't always work that fast. We were young boys, and we didn't always work as fast as we could have. But one night I was up in the silo and I was forking down silage, and there was a roof on the silo to keep the rain and snow out. But in that roof, there was a slit in the roof. One panel of the roof was missing so that they could put the chute in to fill the silo when it was time to fill it. So I could see out. I could see just a sliver of the sky out of the open space in the roof of the silo. So one night I was putting silage down, forking down the silage, and I was taking a break, and I was kind of leaning on my pitchfork, looking out at the sky, and I didn't know a lot of constellations of stars, but one of the constellations I did know was Orion, and I've always liked the constellation Orion. It's easy to find, and because of the three stars that are in the belt, it's of Orion, it's always easy to identify. And so I was looking out the roof of the silo, and I saw the constellation Orion. And I got to thinking about how big the world is and how big the universe is. And I don't know how far it is to the stars that make up the Orion constellation, but it's much further than distances that we can even imagine. And I was thinking about, even beyond Orion, there's more space, and how big the universe is, and thinking that beyond all that is the creator God who made the universe and created our world and created us as human beings. And I got to thinking about my life, and what I might do in life, and what occupation I might have, and where I might go in the world. And I just remember standing there and thinking, uh, and talking to God and saying, here I am. I'm a little boy in a silo. I don't know what you want to do with my life, but whatever you want me to do, I'm willing to do it. And I think that that is a good attitude to have about life. Sometimes new things come up and we're like, oh, I've never done that. I'm scared to try that. I don't want to do that. And we have opportunities to do things, but we're scared to try it. We don't want to try it. And I just think that uh, if you have your first answer to opportunity be yes, you will get to do some pretty amazing things in life. If your default answer is no, I'm not going to do that, whatever your reason is or whatever your excuse is, you can find an excuse to not do a lot of things. But if our default answer is yes, if our first answer is yes, I'll try that, sure, I'll do that. And when opportunity comes, we take advantage of the opportunities that God brings us. I think you get to do some pretty amazing things. So, my encouragement to you is to think about what your life might be like and what opportunities you will have. And then as you go through life, say yes to the opportunities that you have.